With safety as any Formula One driver's highest priority, there's nothing more important to them than their crash helmet. But it's not just the safety aspects of the helmet that concerns the drivers, it's their distinctive, individual designs that says a lot about a driver.
My helmet design came around in, I think it was 94. When I first started, I had an old FM, it was a brand new FM helmet, but it was one of the cheapest helmets on the market. That's all we could afford at the time. And the biggest problem was that to fit in with everyone, or the cool way was to have an Arai helmet, an Arai GP3 or GP2 at the time, and to have your own paint job. Also, my dad was very nervous when I was racing. You'd watch from the pits, and he wasn't able to see when there's 20 or 30 cars going around the first corner or further in the track. He wouldn't be able to notice the difference, notice me from 30 cars. So it was important that we made sure we had a very bright colour so it was easy to recognise. We decided together that we would choose yellow, and he asked me what other colours would you like, and I said red, blue and green. And then he came up with the idea to put them in metallic colours. He also came up with the idea of having a ribbon effect around the helmet. So we had a ribbon going around the top and around the front, and in the ribbon it would cross over at the front and at the back. But as I got older, I thought the ribbon effect was a bit old hat, so I sort of got rid of it. But we still have the ribbon going around. That is the sort of effect that I have on the helmet.
And with Lewis Hamilton now stepping into the big time of Formula One motor racing, it was time for a step forward with another round of minor design changes. And it's with those changes that Lewis Hamilton turned to the same design company he's been using since his early days of karting, JLF Design, and head designer Jason Fowler.
We've been painting Lewis's helmets for about 8 years now. It started when he was racing karts. He was just starting to hit the big time and winning races, and he approached us to paint his helmets, and we were more than happy because we could see he was a driver that was going to go far. His original design was done by his father, who wanted something to stand out on the track. So when he came to us, he just wanted us to put some input into it and just make it more up to date, a bit more colourful, a bit more 3D, just something a bit more modern. Painting a helmet is a layer by layer process. Once it's prepped and primed, the design is laid out using fine line tape. The colours are laid on one at a time, then covered up ready for the next colour. And then once they're all on, the logos are put on, including the little man on the side. The lacquer coats are put on, they're left to dry, then flatted back to remove the ridges. More lacquer coats are put on, then the whole thing's buffed up and sent off to McLaren.
I sit down at the end of the year and I have a look at my helmet, and for sure there's always things you can improve on. I think it's important that you keep moving in designing and adding new bits to it. In the last couple of years I put the halo on the top because I knew as I was a McLaren driver, I knew that one day if I was in the car I would need it. And I think it sat in quite well because obviously now we have Vodafone there. And also this year I had to make a couple of changes to adjustments to the ribbons that were on the side. I had to move them forward because the Johnny Walker logo had to fit in. And it fitted in perfect.
And with such a spectacular start to his Formula One career, it looks like the partnership between this driver and his helmet designer is one that will progress throughout what could be a long and stunning F1 career.
The loyalty that Lewis and Anthony have shown us means a lot to us because it's a very competitive business doing this. I know there's a lot of painters that would love to be painting Lewis's helmets. So it's only a matter of time before Lewis does get his first win, and it's going to be great. It's going to be the culmination of 8 years' work between us, so seeing our helmet on the podium on the top steps is going to be the ultimate, really.
I always want to keep the same design. I think it's important because everyone notices me from it. And I think the helmet looks better than it's ever looked before, and I'm sure next year there'll be something new, and it's always a challenge to try and find something, a new design, but I'll find it, so no problem.
With Formula One being such a regimented and disciplined sport, helmet design is one of the few opportunities for the drivers to show some flair and creativity. But this weekend, Lewis Hamilton's creativity behind the wheel will once again be tested as he seeks to continue his remarkable first season in Formula One.